All right. So we're here. What's your name for the cameraman?
Amanda.
Amanda. And how old are you?
I'm 31 now.
31? You look a lot younger.
I know.
I thought you were going to say like 21, 23, somewhere in that age
I get
group.
that a lot.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Where are you from?
I am from Kensington, born and raised.
Okay.
And then up towards like far northeast.
Okay. And how long have you been out here?
It'll be 2 years in February, I think.
Okay. And how did you end up out here?
Well, I had 1.5 years clean, and I ended up getting a settlement, and I ran with that. I was doing the whole recovery thing, and everything got so overwhelming, and I ended up getting, I started dating somebody that was, on and off, getting high and being clean for like a month and then getting high. So I kind of ran with that, and then that's how it started. Came out here just to, get high a little bit. It was only supposed to be like a week run, and
Of course.
now almost 2 years later, still here.
Isn't it crazy that when we get like sobriety, we'll still think, oh, we could just do this for a week or two. Next to how crazy like addiction is.
Or as long as I don't do it 3 days in a row.
Bro, oh my God. Listen, you don't know how many times that got me. And then I'd be at 2 days, I'd be like, as long as I don't do it 4, you know.
Well, I only do half a bag.
Yeah, exactly.
And it turns into like 2 bundles and then you're stuck.
Yep. What's your choice of drugs?
Fentanyl, and I do smoke crack.
Okay. How old were you the first time you used?
I was doing like oxys and perks, when I was younger, but I never had a habit like that. But I first started doing heroin after I had my son when I was 27.
What made you try heroin for the first time?
I was doing perk 30s a day, and it got to like my habit being like 10 perk 30s a day, and
wow.
And then the money wasn't right, and
that's
then
what I was gonna
my
say. It
son's
gets expensive
father,
quickly.
Yeah, I was really sick, and I didn't have the money. And here, I didn't know the whole time my son's father was shooting heroin, and he saw me sick, and he grabbed my arm and shot me up.
Wow.
Yeah, so I completely skipped the whole snorting dope.
Now, how did that make you feel when that happened? Was it like fuck, I should have never done this? Was there any of that thought process while
After,
okay.
Yeah. At first, I fell in love. That high, I never had that high before.
That was going to be my next question too.
Yeah.
Was it, almost like that love at first sight thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
How was your childhood growing up?
It was really rough. My mother was very abusive, and my father wasn't always there. He was always at work. He was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know. So I lived like a really abusive life. My mom she was a really mean person, and I'm a twin, so she was like that to both of us.
I have twins.
Yeah.
14-year-old. Yep.
But,
are you identical or fraternal?
Fraternal, but we look a lot alike.
Listen, that's my daughters. They're fraternal, but everybody swears they're identical.
Yeah, but so I have 2 younger sisters, and I noticed she wasn't doing what she was doing to us to them. And then when I was 16, I found out that my birth mother was murdered when I was 1 year old, and she was murdered down here in Jasper, in Ontario.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, a man named Paul Vidra, he shot her in the back with a .38 special. He was apparently her childhood love, and he ended up getting arrested. He was in and out of jail, and then she ended up meeting my father in high school, and they were high school sweethearts, and they had us. And then after they had us, he got out of jail, and she started to get in contact with him again, and he was, I don't know, there was something really wrong with him, and I don't know, she went to leave his house one day, and he said, "You leave, I'm gonna shoot you." And she turned around, and he shot her in the back with a .38 special.
Oh my God.
She died immediately. And when I was younger, I used to think like I never felt that I fit in my family, especially with my mom.
Now that was before you knew?
And that was before I knew. And then when I found out, I was like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And here I had a whole nother life. Like I had family out here that I didn't even know.
What age were you when you found out?
About 16.
Wow. That's hard for a grown adult to deal with, let alone a 16-year-old child. I lost my mother. She was killed in a car accident in 2004. So I know it, you know what I mean? That's a rough one, you know.
And then it just, from there, like, the abuse from my mom got worse. And then when I was about 17, my dad did something to me that he shouldn't do to his daughter. And then I found out later on in life is because my dad was a crack addict. And he was, like, through a state of psychosis. And, you know, he thought I was my birth mother. Wow. So when I turned 18 and after all that shit happened, I kind of just ran.
Okay.
I call myself a gypsy. I've lived couch to couch to couch to couch.
Yeah.
Different houses, different relationships. I used men just for places to live.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a normal life since I was probably like 16. Anything what seemed normal.
Yeah, normalcy. Do you have any favorite childhood memories or anything like that? Like, if I was to ask you, what was your best childhood memory, what would you say?
It was my mom's mother, Mary, my grandmother. She used to take me and my twin, and sometimes my other two sisters, and she would just take us out driving, and we just like even go to the park, or even just sit there by the water, feed the ducks and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was probably the best part of my childhood that I remember. Just any time being out of that house was probably a great moment.
Got you. I know what that's like. I experienced, I was abused by my father when I was young, physically abused by my father. He used to beat my mom, and which in turn would spill over to me. So I know what that's like. I didn't even want to go home at times. I didn't want to be in the same house. And it's something that, you know, no kid should have to experience. And at the time, it's crazy because at the time, like, we don't realize that's not going on in every household. You know, I know for me it was like that. When I was a child and that was going on, I thought that was going on in every household.
Yeah.
And then until I got a little older and I found out that wasn't. You know, both my parents were addicts, and it was just extremely dysfunctional. And I thought, like I said, I thought that's what happened in every house. And then I found out it wasn't so much. Yeah. How is your habit like? How many bags a day do you use?
Before my I'm not dating the guy that I was dating in the intervention. I do have my boyfriend. We've been together for almost about 5 months now, and it's a perfect relationship.
Is it?
Before he got locked up, our habit was very bad.
Okay.
We were doing close to over almost like 3 bundles a day. But now he don't have a habit, and it's just mine. I'm doing about a bundle a day.
Okay. How do you support your habit?
I boost.
Okay.
I boost from stores, and
do you do dates or anything?
I
like
don't
that?
do that. No.
Okay.
That's
have you
one
ever?
Thing. I've done escort.
Okay.
I've escorted, and then there's just something about it that I didn't like, and I just stopped. And
Did you have any bad experiences or anything with it?
Yeah. There was in the last part of my intervention, at the very end, you'll see me with a black eye.
Okay.
When I came back, I got kidnapped by 2 Dominican men.
Wow.
And they held me hostage for 2 days and abandoned and beat and raped me.
I'm sorry.
And then they finally, when they were methed out, and when they fell asleep, I stole the keys to their car, and I stole the car and I got out. But what made that happen, I was standing in a big date spot, and I wasn't looking for a date. I was waiting for somebody.
Got you, but they.
So when that happened to me, I just stay clear off Kensington at night, and I just.
Now, did anything ever come of that? Like, did you go to the cops or anything like that?
No, only because I've seen their faces around here before.
Okay. Have you seen them since that?
A couple months after it happened, I did run into one of them, and he was stealing on one of the blocks.
Did he recognize you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he chased after me because he was looking for his car.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, and as a man, we're not supposed to do that stuff to anybody, and even if you were, let's say, I tell this to a lot of the women that I interview, that even if you were taking dates and into prostitution and stuff, we still have no right, you know what I mean? Like, nobody has a right to do that to you, no matter what position you put yourself in or predicament you put yourself in. Nobody has a right to do that to you. And it's sad, you know, and I know a lot of women sometimes feel guilt. They'll be like, well, if I wasn't doing this, you know, that's sort of what comes with it. And I understand the logic, but it's not correct.
Yeah, it's kind of how I felt. If I wasn't standing in that spot, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but don't think that. You should be allowed to stand wherever you want without having a fear of somebody doing something like that to you. You know what I mean? So I'm extremely sorry that happened to you. You told me you were on the show Intervention?
Yes.
Okay. How was that experience?
I mean, listen, I've seen that show so many times, and I'm like, how do they not know they're filming for Intervention? And then when it happened to me, I was like, what the fuck? Like, they told me it was a documentary on drugs in the hip hop scene, because my ex is a rapper from Mayfair. Okay. And that's how they lured me in. And well, when I went through the whole thing, I was gonna go through with the getting clean. Like, if you saw, I did go to California, but what they did was they lied. They told me that my boyfriend was going to be in jail for 3 months, and it was a 3-month program. And here, when they sent me out to California the day after he got out of jail, and he was locked up, like, and I don't know, I just wanted to be with him. That's when our relationship was all right. Yeah. But if I didn't know that he got out of jail, I would have stuck with it, because I really wanted to get clean. Yeah. But then at the same time, I felt like I was forced, because you know how they do the end part. They sit down and they read the letters. Yeah. That part, that's what got me, and I'm like, shit. And then I kind of like made the decision because for them, like, all right, I'll get clean for them, like, or I'll do this, you know, for them. I wasn't ready. Yeah. I mean, what I did to get back is not cool, but
what did you do to get back?
I robbed the place, $750, and called an Uber and got on a Greyhound, and it took 7 days to get back. Wow. It only took 7 days because I got stuck in Denver, because I decided to you know, shoot meth in the bathroom, and my bus left me. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Now with the Intervention, Did they pay you for that?
They did not pay me.
Okay.
They would buy me cigarettes, or they would buy me breakfast, but they didn't put money in my hand. Okay. I had to do what I had to do to get money. They I guess obviously they paid for the rehab and my flight, but no, I did not get paid for nothing. Okay. That's the number one question everybody asks.
Well, listen, I've been doing this for about 4 years, and I had the producers from Intervention reach out to me before they came out here and did the series.
Really?
Yeah, and I spoke with one of the producers, and when we spoke, she said that they...
Was her name Annie?
I don't remember. I have her emails and stuff. Yeah. But she was an older lady, super nice.
Oh, Connie probably, I think.
Yeah, I don't know specifically if I go back in my emails. And when I was speaking to them, she said that they have like per diems for the people. And I just, when she was explaining it to me, I was like, I didn't, you know what I mean? And what they had seen my videos on YouTube and wanted to like work together or something, I guess. And I just didn't get the vibe. Like, I wasn't comfortable with what they sort of said with doing it, you know, and I never emailed them back. Did you feel in any way like exploited or anything like that? Or
the number one thing that I'm really upset about is the commercial that they put out. The very beginning of the commercial, where you see they're you know, advertising it, it says me saying I'm a fucking junkie. Okay. It's different when I call myself a junkie, but for another person to call me a junkie, like, it hurts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now the whole world saw me call myself a junkie.
So yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Listen, we have that debate a lot in the YouTube channel with some people. don't bother. Or some people refer to themselves, oh, when I was a junkie, you know. And a lot of people be like, you're not a junkie, you know, you're not
My
junk.
boyfriend gets so mad. He'll say, shut up, like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. You're not a junkie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different. Like I said, when I call myself a junkie, it's different. But now the whole world it looks at me and like, you know, I can't go one day without one person recognizing me on intervention.
Yeah.
But like, just think the first thing they see when they see me is junkie.
Yeah.
All because of the commercial. And that's what really hurt me.
Yeah. I bet. And that's something that sort of stays with you, you know what I mean, for a while until people forget about it, until there's somebody else. Have you ever experienced violence down here besides the instance that you were explaining with the two men?
Oh yeah, there's actually a video on Instagram of me nodded out on Lippincott, Kensington, Lippincott.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a Puerto Rican kid and a black kid, and they're putting a cigarette out on the back of my neck, and I have a scar here now. And
Wow.
the funny thing is, I had no idea that it happened. I thought my boyfriend dropped a cherry on the back of my neck. And then when there was 2 cops out here, they were looking for me, and people were coming up to me saying, hey, these cops are looking for you. They want to show you something. And here, it was that video.
Oh my God.
And then
that's crazy.
I've been jumped. I've been robbed out here. I've gotten in fights. I've whooped some ass. Someone whooped my ass. You know, it happens out here. You know, I get robbed sometimes, especially like when I'm copping on a block. There'll be a kid that isn't supposed to be there. They'll take my money and give me some fake shit.
Yeah, of course.
I've gotten arrested a couple times with strike force. You know, it all happens.
If you do you have like
someone almost stabbed my boyfriend? That one was a scary one. He tried robbing him. He didn't even have nothing on him.
Yeah. I don't know. Wow. Thank God that it didn't happen.
It was in broad daylight too.
Yeah. I know the way that is. What would you like people to know about you? Somebody that maybe seen intervention and be like, she's just a junkie or she's just a homeless person. Somebody that walks past. What would you like them to know about you?
I mean, I don't know. Just, I mean, when people look at somebody and like, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
Something's happened in their life that made them like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a sweet person.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask anybody out here about me, you know, they'll say that I'll give them the shirt off my back for them.
Yeah.
You know how many people out here that I've gotten well, and it's not even that. It's how many people I've fed.
Yeah.
I believe in karma.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time good karma comes is when you don't expect anything, when you're doing something nice for somebody.
Absolutely.
And when I do something nice for somebody, I don't expect anything.
I say that shit all the time. So many people ask me, I'm out here, like I said, I live 3 hours away, so I come out here a lot. And people be like, why do you do that? And I said, first of all, it keeps it green for me in my recovery. Second of all, I want people to know, even if it's just for that day, that they're cared about, they're loved. At least I know just for that day they're going to be warm. You know, if I have food, they're going to be fed.
Yeah.
And to let them know that somebody cares about them. And the joy I get from doing something for somebody without expecting nothing in return, it's such a good feeling, and it's so gratifying. And I used to, before I started getting high, I used to sell drugs for a lot of years. Yeah. So I know the destruction I caused in this community, in other communities. And, you know, I try to make that type of stuff right as best as I can, you know, by my actions now in the future. And I tell people that all the time. Look, when you do something for somebody that you know cannot do nothing for you in return, you know, materialistically or financially, it's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, my boyfriend asks me all the time, why do you keep doing this for them? They like, he's like, they're taking advantage of you. Yes, some people will.
Yeah.
I do notice those people.
Of course.
But I do it just the simple fact that, like, you know, what if they can't get that day? And it just makes me feel better, you know, because look what I'm doing to make money. I'm stealing.
Yeah.
But if so it's like, I call it Robin Hood. You know, I steal from the rich and then give to the poor. But if I'm doing that, my good karma is, all right, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
If I'm doing this, I'm going to share it.
Yeah, spread the wealth a little, spread the love. If you had one wish, what would it be?
I want to see my son.
How old is your son?
He's 4.
Does he live here in Kensington?
No, he's in Levittown.
Okay. How long was the last time you seen him?
2 years.
2 years. I can see your face. I know it's hard for you to speak about that. And I could imagine. Listen, I was just sitting down with a friend, and I was telling them how, you know, I came out here yesterday, and I miss my kids. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get home to see my kids. And then I'm around them for 5 minutes, and I'm like, these little motherfuckers, you know what I mean? But, you know, so I couldn't imagine. I remember times, you know, I spent 17 years in prison, so I remember times being away from my children and how bad it hurt. And, you know, that's a feeling that it doesn't feel good, you know, so I know where you're going through. You know, and I hope that you reach the point sooner than later. You know what I mean? When we just get fed up and be like, fuck this, no matter what I have to go through, I don't care, but I'm done with this shit. You know, you're young, you're beautiful, you're smart, you know, you have a sense of humor. Your smile's awesome too.
Thanks.
You know, and, you know, I would love to come down here and not even see you, or maybe have you reach out and be like, look, I'm clean, you know what I mean? Because I love keeping in contact with people. There's a lot of people here that I keep in contact with on a normal basis, you know, and I want you to know, you know, and I'm sure I'm not telling you anything you don't know or haven't heard, but that you can do it, you know what I mean? You can do it. It's not going to be easy, but it's definitely worth it. And something I always tell everybody too is, I've never met one person that says they regret getting sober. Never. You're not going to hear that. You know what I mean? Nobody is going to be like, fuck, I regret getting sober. You know, it just doesn't happen. That's not the way it goes, man. Like I said, you're a beautiful young lady. I seen your eyes when you spoke of your son, you know, and I know that's not a good feeling. I hope, you know, I'll keep you in prayer. I'll give you my card with my email address and stuff on there, and I hope to keep in contact with you. You know, you seem like an awesome young lady, and I wish you the best, and I hope things get better for you sooner than later. You know, like I said, I'll keep you in prayer, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.